So the concept of 50 interviews was something that certainly was not clear to me when I started. I just started talking to entrepreneurs because I really aspired to become an entrepreneur, and I wanted to know if I was cut out for it and what were the things that I needed to know before I took that leap of faith and left my job and became an entrepreneur. Well, through the process, what I discovered was that there are two truths that emerged from talking to 50 entrepreneurs. And my last interview here with Brian clearly demonstrates that one of the biggies is passion. You need to find something that you're passionate about, and I think that it's something you have to uncover. I don't think that you can purposely go out and say, well, I'm going to go find what I'm passionate about. I think you need to go out and try a lot of different things. So first, it's a passion, and it's almost an addiction. It almost consumes you because you think about it all the time. When you go to bed at night, it's the last thing you think about. When you wake up in the morning, it's the first thing you think about. When you meet somebody new, you immediately tell them about what it is, and everybody relates you to what your passion is. So that's how you've truly uncovered. Maybe another measure would be if somebody offered you $1 million to stop doing it tomorrow, would you stop? And you would have to probably sleep on it, and most likely you would not take $1 million. Maybe you do have a price, but it ain't $1 million. The other truth that I uncovered after talking to 50 entrepreneurs was that what they found is an impersonal goal. What I mean by that is that it's not about them. It's clearly about a purpose much larger than themselves. When you discover something that you're that passionate about and that it's truly not about you, it's about something much bigger than you, the idea is much bigger, people are naturally drawn to you because you're up to something so significant and it's not about you. Which is why money is not something that's going to have any kind of lasting success, because the money ultimately comes back to being about you, unless you plan to do something significant with that money, which some social entrepreneurs do. But those are really the two truths that emerged, and why the 50 interviews concept for me became the business idea. And what I'm so passionate about was not clear to me at the beginning, but those two distinctions that I just shared with you are clearly what 50 interviews means to me. And where I see this going, I hope 10 years from now, and that there's 150 interviews books out there, everything from 50 firefighters, 50 speakers, 50 writers. These are the, quote, career cliff notes that don't exist today. And I want people to take this on. I want them to go out and interview people, whatever it is they think they want to do, go out and talk to people, and in the process they will be transformed, they'll learn what it really takes, and they'll become part of that community. I interviewed entrepreneurs, and I have some people's phone numbers and email addresses and personal connections that I would have never otherwise had. It forces you to expand your circle and put yourself into the community of folks that you aspire to become, and I assure you that you will be transformed. Or you'll find out that it's not what you thought it was. I think 50 Musicians is a book that's going to be very appealing, because I think being a professional musician is much different than people think it is. And what does it really take? Because that's one of those vocations that so few people make it, and it's really to find out the truth. I wish I would have figured this out 10 years ago. And there was two questions that were the genesis of this project. Was one, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I answered that question by saying, well, if you would have asked me that question 10 years ago, I would have said not here. And that was a stark realization that I was not making decisions and really just sort of going down this river. The other question was, if you could know the place and time when you were going to die, would you want to know? And my friend Chad asked me that, and I said, well, yes. And he said, why? I said, because there's a lot of things that I want to do between now and then. And he said, Brian, what are you waiting for? That could be tomorrow. That could be an hour from now. I mean, the bottom line is, what are you waiting for? So those two questions really kind of fueled this whole project, and I think that you need to ask yourself those. And I hope that you take this project on, or you take on this framework. You don't need to go out and interview 50 people, but go out and interview 10 people, and hopefully it extends to 50. And I want to hear from you if you do that. And my dream is that people use this as a framework to get somewhere and not ever answer that question of where do you see yourself in 10 years the way I did. Thanks for listening.